Alright, John Oakes here with Hanksters Hot Rods here in our Homer City, Pennsylvania location. Today another addition to our new inventory, and this is a 1966 Chevrolet Chevelle. This is an SS, a real 138 VIN code car. So as you can see, we've got a nice bright red exterior on this car. The paint is nice and smooth and shiny. Looks like it's been blocked and sanded and buffed. Looks real nice here as far as the paint and finish go. As far as metal work, body panel alignment, as I always do, I always stand at one corner of the car and look the whole way back. And on this particular car, looking from front fender all the way back to quarter panel, I can tell you that the side of this car is nice and straight the whole way down the side. Our fender compared to our door, compared to our quarter panel, are all in alignment, so our elevations are good on this car. As far as our gaps go, we can look at the gaps on the front side of the door here and on the back side here. And we can see that those are very, very uniform front to back. So again, door's been positioned great, front to back and in and out on this car. Lines up great with all the other panels. As far as our emblems go on this car, again, because it is an SS car, we do have all of the emblems that signify that. We've got the 396 cross flag turbojet emblem right here on the front fender. We also, back on the quarter panel all the way in the back, have the Super Sport emblems back here on that rear quarter panel as well. Now we'll have all the other stuff front and back on the car as well, as far as those SS emblems go, but we'll show that when we get to that. As far as all the bright work, the trim, the moldings, all of that stuff on this car, I've looked over this right now and it looks great. We've got those bright wheel lip moldings, even our moldings around all of the windshield and even the rear glass are in excellent shape. They're nice and straight, polished out really, really well on this car. And as far as wheels and tires go, we've got just the factory 15-inch steel rally wheels on this car, complete with the beauty rings and the center caps. And then we have all matching tires, not only matching name brands and tread patterns, but we got matching sizes front and rear. So we've got 225, 70, R15s on all four corners of this car. As we come back here again, we're going to see that our particular car here's got both mirrors on the driver's side as well as over on the passenger side. They're both manually adjustable mirrors. Nice chrome finish on here, no pitting whatsoever. Even our wing windows here, or vent windows if you want to call them that, the chrome and the trim around those are in very nice condition, no pitting on those. Even our rubber seals on these are in really good shape. There's no cracks. They're in good condition, nice and intact, no tears at all. We'll come back to our door, open that up here real briefly. Just take a look and show that our bright red paint follows its way into the inside of the car here on the insides of the doors. We've got the rubber bump stops on the top and the bottom. Got the little GM decal here right on the center of the door here too. And then our seals and weather stripping on the inside of our door are in excellent condition there too. Door panels and interior, all black on this car, black vinyl, all in excellent shape, attached with all the necessary screws that they require. Our seats are in great shape, buckets, you can see the carpeting there briefly. Again, everything looks great on this car, and we're going to go inside here just a little bit later and show you more in depth on that interior. But again, just kind of pointing out some of the things, even your weather stripping here along the top edge of where your window would come up against. Those are in excellent shape. There's no cracks, no dry areas. They're nice and soft yet. So again, those are going to seal up real well for you on this particular car. Close our door, you can see it shuts nice and easy, nice and flush too as far as those elevations go, as I mentioned before. So that all looks great. Got the bright drip rail moldings here. Those are nice and straight. You don't see any dents or any waviness in those even. And even up here in the rain gutters, as I look down through those, a lot of times you'll see some cracking and so forth. On this one, I do not see any of that. So those are real nice condition there. And as we come back, again, I've already mentioned the wheel lip moldings, wheels and tires, all the same stuff there. And then again, those Super Sport emblems on the rear quarter. All right, now that we're around the back side of our 66 Chevelle SS here, we'll take a look starting up here at the rear window here. As I mentioned, the trim around the windows, those the bright work there in the moldings, those are still in great shape back here. We've got our rear window here. I'm looking, I don't see any cracks, I don't see any chips. Nice condition here. Glass is slightly tinted back here, so again, that all looks well. Even down here in the corners here on the Chevelles, a lot of times you'll see, sometimes you'll see some cracking like in the clear and so forth, but on this particular car, on neither side, they look to be finished off real nice in here as far as the bodywork goes. Nice and smooth and no cracks in those corners whatsoever. The other thing we can look at right now is our trunk gaps here and our fitment here. Our gaps side to side look really good on this. Even across the backside, that looks real uniform the whole way around. As far as our elevations here with the quarter panels, that's really good too on this particular car. Of course, you got the big trunk lid back here, so sometimes it does get a little hard to get that to match up, but this car is really, really nice as far as panel fitment goes. Before we open up the trunk, let's just take a look at things like our tail lights here, our lenses on both sides. Very nice. As a matter of fact, they look like they could have been replaced here fairly recently. There's no cracks or chips in those. They're real nice looking. Our taillight bezels, the bright work here that you see around the taillights, that's in excellent shape too. Polished up well. There's no pitting there. Got the blacked out tail panel here right through the center with our Chevelle emblem here. And then of course the SS 396 emblem right there on the tail panel. Again, we got the big chrome bumpers both on the rear as well as on the front. Finish on those is very nice. And again, we've got these tailpipes back here, dual tailpipes, a nice slash cut. They look to be like a stainless like tailpipe extension. So those give it a nice little touch too back here. We'll go ahead and open our trunk now. See that the trunk lock does work. Again, on the underside here, nice bright red shiny paint here. It's been cleared over too, so it looks well underneath here. Got the little rubber bump stops here on your trunk lid that whenever you shut it, that's what it's going to sit on. Of course, our trunk weather stripping here the whole way around looks to be fairly new too. Meets right here in the center. There's no cracks, tears, or chunks in that. So again, that's going to seal up real nice for you. And the trunk inside, the trunk pan itself, it's painted the correct gray and white spatter paint back here, trunk spatter paint. We've got a full-size matching spare tire and wheel in here. So again, perfect match for our wheels and tires out front, the 15-inch rally wheel with center ring, or beauty ring I should say, and it's got a BF Goodrich radial TA tire mounted on it, same size as the exterior tires, 225/70 R15s. Also inside the trunk, got this nice red trunk mat in here, carpeted trunk mat. It does have the spare tire, jack, and the mounts for everything here too. Not that you're ever going to use the original bumper style jack on a car like this, but it is there, so it's all complete. This car also has air shocks on the back end of it, and your fill area for it is going to be located back here in the trunk, right in the center back towards the back side there. So again, all of that is in nice order back here, very nicely done, detailed up, very nice. So we're going to go ahead and close this up now, and then we'll continue on to the passenger side of our vehicle. Alright, so here on the passenger side, I'm going to do exactly what I did over on the driver's side. I'm going to look from the rear quarter panel now, all the way up clear to the tip of the front fender, and I want to check out our alignments, our elevations, and everything on all of our panels. Again, on this side, everything lines up very, very good on this car. So again, our transition from the quarter to the door, you don't see any kind of elevation deviation there. Again, from the door to the front fender, no elevation deviations there to speak of either. So again, we've got our nice Super Sport emblems back here on the quarter panel. The wheel lip moldings here, our 15-inch rally wheels with centers and beauty rings, the BF Goodrich tires on all four corners. Come up here and we'll look at our drip rail molding on the passenger side. And again, just like over on the other side, it's nice and straight, polished up really nice, so you don't see any dings or any waviness in that drip rail. Looks really nice. And looking up through the rain gutter here, again, that's finished off very nice on this car too. As we get up to our door, take a look at our gaps here on the back side as well as up front there, and we can see that those are, again, very uniform. So the door's been adjusted front to back very well, and the elevation as far as getting it out to match up with your quarter panel and your fender, that's been done very, very good on this car too. Open the door up on this side. Again, same as on the other side, that red continues on the interior of our doors here. Got the rubber bump stops on the top as well as the bottom. Our weather stripping and seal up around the door looks to be great. Door panels look good too. And upholstery on this side of the vehicle looks great too upon first inspection. Threshold plates look to be in good shape. And in that whole door opening there, again, that red exterior paint continues its way to the interior. Looks very good. Weather stripping and seals up around where your glass meets. Again, on this side, equally as nice as the other side. There's no cracks, no chunks taken out. It's going to seal up very good for you. Again, the door shuts nice and easy. Good solid thud. We've got the mirror over here on the passenger side as well. And again, our trim here, the bright work around our vent window and the rubber seals around it all look to be in great shape on this. There's no pitting, nice and straight, polished up really nice. And as we finish up over here, we're coming up the front fender now. Got our wheel lip moldings there. Again, the 396 turbojet cross flag emblems up here on the front fender. You can see up here on our hood, we do have the correct hood on this car. It's got the louvers there in the center as well. That's all SS stuff. Our windshield also looks great. We'll get another shot of that from the front too to show you. And again, we end up here at the front end of the car. All right, and finally now we made it to the front of our 66 Chevelle SS. So let's just take a real quick look here at our windshield. Again, it's in nice shape here. No cracks, no chips, nothing like that in our windshield. Our molding around here looks to be great. It's polished up nicely. No dents or things that I can see on it. Windshield wipers, those are in good shape too. Our hood now, we can take a look at that. Our elevations on our hood on the passenger side look to be really good. Over here on the driver's side, same thing. Gaps are the same side to side, and the gap around the back side of the hood too there, that is very uniform compared to the side gaps too. Again, I said we got the correct hood. You see our louvers here right in the center. That's all super sport related stuff. Got your little tiny trim piece up here. That's once again in good shape. Along the leading edge here of our hood, that bright work here, the trim, it's in really nice shape there too. Continues on to the eyebrows here around your headlights too, and those are all in great shape. Chrome front bumper in excellent shape too. And our grille, you can see there in the camera how nice it is. Black where it should be black, nice and shiny and bright where it should be polished up. We've got the SS396 emblem here in the front and right in the center of our grille. And then of course our headlights, these are just your traditional sealed beam headlight units. You've got highs and low beams individually on this car. And again, your headlight bezels here that bolt on over top of those headlights, those are in excellent shape on both sides. Down below, we just have the parking lights down below. Those lenses, the amber lenses, those are in excellent shape too. No cracks or chips out of any of those. So let's go ahead now. We're going to open our hood up. Again, this is a steel hood. As we open up, we can see that we've got the red on the underside of the hood here as well. Got the necessary and proper insulation in underneath the hood as well, and you can see it's in great shape. There's no pieces hanging down, there's no pieces missing out of here either, so it's all intact, all in great condition. As you can see, our cowl and our inner fender wells here, those are all painted black, as well as the core support to kind of help, you know, break things up just a little bit on the car. And sitting in here for our power plant, now this is a 396 cubic inch big block Chevy motor. However, it's not the numbers match motor. It's a non-original motor, but 396 cubic inch big block Chevy it is. As you can see, we've got the chrome air cleaner on here, along with a reusable style air filter. We've got the chrome valve covers that have SS396 embossed in those. So again, that's a real nice touch. We've got valve cover breather as well as PCV valve in here. As far as carburetor, we've got a Holley dual feed 4-barrel carb. This is a 750 CFM carb. And we have that sitting on top of a polished Edelbrock Performer aluminum intake. Very nice looking under the hood here. They've got everything, all the shiny stuff, they have it on here. So again, we've got Coolflex upper and lower radiator hoses on this car. So again, that's going to add a nice touch to our car. Manual brake, power steering. We do have a chrome power steering reservoir, again, to add to the looks of everything. Chrome alternator along with chrome alternator bracket. We've got just a stock style radiator though. We also have the shroud, and then we have on there for a fan blade, looks to be a 6-blade flex fan on this particular vehicle. Again, you can see here pretty easily in the camera, we've got all stainless braided heater line hoses with real nice connections here and fittings on them. A polished aluminum water pump too. So everything on this thing is either polished aluminum or chrome, so it looks really good underneath here. Mechanical fuel pump there, and they have upgraded their ignition system too. We've got an HEI ignition here, HEI distributor, and we have a very good set of Taylor 409 race wires on here to help deliver a much better spark to this car here. Again, with the upgraded carburetor and the intake, you want to have those plug wires that go along with it, so you got both the air, fuel, and ignition to go all together there. Alright, now that we're in the comfort of our 66 Chevelle SS, we're going to go ahead and take you up close and personal with the interior now. So starting out at the outer door there, at the driver's side door there, you can see how nice that door panel is. All black. It does have the brake work on it as it should. The armrest is in really good shape, and door panel itself all anchored down with the necessary screws that it should have, so that all looks good there. As far as the dash goes, this would be your factory style dash here in this car. Padded dash, the actual pad itself is in great shape. There's no cracks or anything in that, so that's all intact and very good. As far as gauges, the factory instrumentation would include the fuel gauge over on the left hand side, along with a 120 mile an hour speedometer there right in the center, and that's in all good shape there too. Now, they did go ahead and add a column mount tack on this. It's a Sun Super Tack 2. So like I said, it's on the column. If you ever wanted to remove it, you could. It's not that difficult to do. Factory steering wheel here, and that's in great shape. All intact, nice and shined up there. You can see that real good. Now, right in the center here, we did go ahead, the previous owner had upgraded the sound system in here just slightly. We've got an aftermarket AM/FM cassette player. However, there's been no modification done to the dash to install this. It mounts right in the factory location, so they've done a real good job with that. Right below that, we've got the factory heater controls for this car. And then below that, then right underneath the dash, they have gone ahead, added a few aftermarket gauges. Now these are all auto gauge, so they're good name brand, good quality stuff here. We've got an oil pressure gauge, the voltmeter, and then the water temperature gauge. Again, this car did not have those from the factory, so they wanted to go ahead and put a nice set of gauges in here so they could monitor all that stuff underneath the hood. As far as all of our dash work, our trim and everything in here, everything looks great. There's no pitting. Looks nice and all intact here. As far as our center console, we got a factory automatic center console in here. We do have the clock, the factory center console clock in here, and this is working. I can look at it right now. I'm seeing the second hand go around here, so that's kind of unusual to get a clock that actually works after all this time. So that's all intact. As far as our headliner goes, all black headliner, tied up nice and tight. All of our bows and stays and stuff like that are all installed. Even our sun visors are in good shape, all intact, no holes, no tears. They stay up, they don't fall down. Our seats, upholstery on those is real good. These are probably original seat covers, which would actually, complement the fact that they've been taken care of so well. On the driver's side, you see a little bit of just normal wear and tear on that, but passenger side, the rear seats, everything looks good in this car. We have all the seat belts in here. We've got retractable belts up front, got your normal belts in the back there, and to go along with our upgraded stereo here, we do have some kick panel speakers down here. We also have speakers in the rear package tray. Even in the back there, the sail panels, a lot of times you'll see those are kind of either loosely fitting or, you know, just kind of bunched up back there a little bit. These ones are not. They're nice. The materials pulled nice and tight on them. They're installed very well in this car, and everything looks good on the interior here. All right, now we have our 1966 Chevrolet Chevelle Ss up on the lift here. We're going to go through the underside, as we always do with all of our vehicles, point out to you exactly what we have underneath here and the condition of said parts under here. So starting up towards the front, basically on the suspension and steering side of things here, we have a front sway bar here. The actual bushings here for the frame mounts are actually in decent shape. They're not split or cracked out. They look good. The sway bar end links, those look good side to side, and the bushings look good in those as well. As far as steering components, we just have factory steering stuff here. We've got the drag length here in the center, our tie rods out at the ends here, all of our ball joints in those tie rods all look to be in good shape. All the little rubber dust boots are all intact. There's no splits or cracks in those dust boots, and everything looks to be well maintained and greased up underneath here. A little further back, suspension arms up front. Our lower control arms as well as our upper A arms are all the factory stock stamped steel components on this vehicle. Ball joints out at the ends of all of our control arms here look to be in good shape. Dust boots intact. Shocks and springs look to be fairly decent on this car. They do look to be like they're a little bit older on the front here, but again, they're all in decent shape though. And as far as braking components, this car has power disc brakes up front. Now these are just standard GM components, so you can go to any auto parts store whenever you need to replace items like calipers or the brake shoes, and you can get those at your auto parts store very easily. But again, power disc brakes up front. In the back for braking, we do have just drum brakes back there, but that would be, you know, what the standard was back in the day. As we come up here and we take a look at things like the driveline now, we have a big block Chevy motor in this car. We have that backed by a turbo 400 transmission. That transmission does have the flywheel cover attached to it, so that's going to help keep debris away from that flywheel and prevent any kind of premature failure of the flywheel, stuff coming in, maybe chipping a tooth off on the flywheel. That will not happen since we have the cover there. You can see the exhaust work here coming down. We've got a set of long tube headers here coming down into our dual exhaust. You can see all the bends are very nice on this exhaust, and run back into our dual mufflers. Now these mufflers, they are a Flowmaster-like muffler. I do not see that name on them, but again, they look very identical to them. They are a chambered muffler, so again, we'll just call them a Flowmaster-like muffler. And of course, we've got our tailpipes here, and these would be correct for the car as they go up over top of the rear end, and then they exit out the rear of the car with a real nice set of slash-cut exhaust tips back there to kind of dress things up as the exhaust exits. Now as far as our floors go, our floors are in really good shape here. I don't see any holes. Everything's all solid underneath here. And as a matter of fact, as far as if it's had any kind of patchwork or replacement floor pans in it, I honestly can't say that it has. I see where in the front floors here it looks like maybe, but again, it looks really good. They've seam sealed everything. Everything's straight cut. It looks great. Again, not sure if that was factory or if they might have done it, but if they did put new floors in, they've matched up the factory job very well on this car. So everything looks good as far as the floors go. all of your bracing, everything, that's all intact and looks to be in good shape underneath here. The frame rails, again, a Chevelle being a full frame car, you see the big frame rails coming back here to the side. Everything is nice and straight and square on this car. The transmission cross member, that's in here and in excellent shape. And again, the tail shaft mount for it is in great condition on this car too. We see our transmission pan here, very dry the whole way around. I see no leaks whatsoever underneath here. And then of course you see the drive shaft painted black to kind of help blend in all the way back. We run into our 12-bolt GM rear end here. This is a limited slip unit. As far as the rear suspension on the car, all stock stuff back here too. You've got your lower control arms, your upper control arms here on the top side of your rear end. Again, those are just your regular stock stamped steel components. And the springs back here are in good shape. Now they did upgrade the shocks back here a little bit. They did put a newer set of air shocks. And again, you've got the air nozzle on the car so that you can air those up and give it the proper stance that you're looking for. Now, as far as wheels and tires go, this car has all four 15-inch factory steel rally wheels on it, complete with the beauty rings and the center caps on this car. Another thing that's all the same on all four corners are the tires. We've got a match set of BF Goodrich radial TA tires. Size on those is 225/70 R15s on all four corners, and you can probably see in the camera our tread. These things are practically brand new on this car. So again, tires are in excellent shape. And then as we work our way clear to the rear of the car here, our fuel tank. This is the stock fuel tank for this car. Probably the original tank. You know, the coating on it, I guess the undercoating that they sprayed on these cars. You can still see some of the remnants of the old stuff here. Otherwise, it's been sprayed black underneath here, but it's still in good shape. Mounting hardware, your straps, bolts, and everything like that, that's in all good shape. And as far as our trunk pans that I can see from underneath here, we can see everything's good, solid, one-piece trunk floor in here. No holes, no patching. It looks great back here.